High creatinine. Let's sit down and talk about something most people never think about, the spices in your own kitchen. Because believe it or not, your spice rack is either quietly healing your kidneys, or slowly hurting them. And you might have no idea which is which. The truth is, more than 37 million Americans are walking around with kidneys that are barely keeping up. Every day, people reach for the same 3 spices that push their creatinine higher without even realizing it. Their doctor tells them to watch their diet, but no one ever says a word about what's hiding right there beside the salt shaker. And here's the part that really gets me. There are 3 spices backed by solid research from major universities that can actually lower creatinine and protect your filters when you use them right. But there are 3 others doing real damage, silently, day after day. One of them is sitting in nearly every American kitchen, being used like it's completely harmless. But when you hear what number 2 on the bad list does to your kidney cells while you sleep, you'll never look at it the same way again. Let's start with the good news because your kidneys deserve a little hope right now. The first spice that can actually lower high creatinine is probably sitting in your kitchen this very moment, tucked in the back of a cabinet, completely forgotten. And almost no one realizes the power it holds. Researchers at the University of the Philippines have been studying it for years, and what they discovered can change everything for anyone watching their kidney numbers climb. I'm talking about turmeric. Now, before you think, oh great, another trendy health tip, stay with me. Inside turmeric is a compound called curcumin, and this isn't just the thing that turns curry yellow. Curcumin goes directly into your kidneys and blocks the exact inflammatory proteins that are damaging your filtering units right now. Your kidneys rely on tiny workers called nephrons to clean your blood. When creatinine rises, it's a sign that those nephrons are inflamed and breaking down faster than your body can repair them. Curcumin steps in and flips on something called the NRF2 pathway, a kind of master switch that wakes up your body's own defense system. Once that switch is on, your kidney cells start producing antioxidants that shield those delicate filtering membranes from further harm. In fact, in the University of the Philippines study, people with elevated creatinine took curcumin for just 8 weeks. Their creatinine levels dropped and so did their BUN, another key indicator of how well your kidneys are functioning. And these weren't tiny, barely noticeable shifts. These were real, measurable improvements that showed up clearly on their lab reports. So here's how you actually put this into practice for yourself. To get real kidney benefits, you need about 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin a day, and you've got to stay consistent with it for at least 8 weeks. You can cook with turmeric powder and still get something out of it, but honestly, you'd have to eat a mountain of it to reach the levels your kidneys truly need. Most people do best with a good quality curcumin supplement, one that clearly shows how much actual curcumin is inside each dose. But there's one thing almost no one tells you about turmeric and kidney health: curcumin barely absorbs on its own. To unlock its power, you need to pair it with a little black pepper. That combo can dramatically boost absorption. Just one reminder: if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor first, because turmeric can increase bleeding risk when used alongside those medications. Before we go on, I'd genuinely love to know where you're watching from, and what your current creatinine level looks like. If you're on this journey to lower your creatinine naturally and protect your kidneys, make sure you're subscribed and that your notification bell is on. And if this helped you today, type great in the comments or improve if it didn't. I'm here to grow with you and help in every way I can. While turmeric calms the inflammation that's been wearing down your kidneys, this next spice steps in from a completely different angle, and honestly, it could be a lifesaver for your filtering system. If your creatinine has been creeping up and you're also struggling with blood sugar swings, I want you to really lean in here, because this one spice supports both problems at the same time. That quiet little jar in your cabinet that can protect your kidneys by stabilizing blood sugar is cinnamon. And no, you're not crazy for wondering how a simple baking spice could possibly help failing kidneys. Scientists at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden spent years looking at exactly how cinnamon affects kidney health in people with diabetes. And what they found is important for anyone watching their creatinine rise, diabetic or not. Here's what's really going on inside your body when your blood sugar runs high. Every time your glucose spikes after you eat, those sugar molecules latch onto proteins in your bloodstream. They form these harmful little compounds that slam into your kidney filters. It's a process called glycation, basically sugar sticking where it shouldn't and clogging up your nephrons. Over time, this steady sugar damage scars and inflames those delicate filters, and that's when your creatinine starts climbing higher and higher. Cinnamon steps in like a quiet protector, stopping the damage long before it has a chance to start. It keeps your blood sugar from spiking so sharply, so those sugar molecules don't get the opportunity to attack your kidney tissues. The natural compounds in cinnamon help your cells respond better to insulin, pulling glucose out of your bloodstream more quickly, which means less sugar lingering around, and far less strain on your nephrons. In the Karolinska research, people who used cinnamon regularly actually saw their creatinine drop. Not because cinnamon magically fixes kidneys, but because their kidneys were no longer being beaten up by constant glucose spikes. The strongest improvements showed up in people with diabetes-related kidney stress, but even those without diabetes still gained kidney protection. To get these benefits, you need about 1 to 3 grams of cinnamon a day, roughly half to 1 teaspoon. But here's where most people get it wrong. There are 2 main types of cinnamon, and only one is safe to use daily in these amounts. You want Ceylon cinnamon, the gentle, true cinnamon, because it's naturally low in a compound called coumarin. The cheaper and more common variety, cassia cinnamon, contains much higher levels of coumarin, and using it every day for months can put real stress on your liver. Stick with Ceylon. It supports your kidneys without creating new problems anywhere else in your body. You've seen what cinnamon and turmeric can do, but this next spice works in a completely different way through your circulation, helping your kidneys push out the waste that's building up right now. If you've been feeling heavy, tired, and frustrated because your creatinine keeps rising no matter what you try, this might be the quiet little game changer you've been missing. I'm talking about ginger, one of the most underrated kidney protectors out there. Researchers across the US and Europe have been studying ginger for years, and they keep finding the same thing. Ginger doesn't just focus on one single issue. Instead, it boosts your body's antioxidant defenses and improves blood flow straight to your kidneys at the same time. Here's why that's so important. When your creatinine climbs, your kidneys desperately need strong, healthy circulation to keep clearing waste from your blood. If your blood flow slows down, your kidneys can't keep up and waste builds up faster than they can filter it. That's when creatinine rises. Ginger contains powerful compounds called gingerols that naturally dilate your blood vessels and help everything move more smoothly. And here's where ginger really earns its place on the list. Those same gingerols flip on your body's internal antioxidant switches right inside your kidney cells. These antioxidants go after the toxic molecules that are damaging your filtering membranes and neutralize them before they can cause long-term harm. It's like sending in a cleanup crew to protect the parts of your kidneys taking the hardest hits. People who use ginger consistently often see improvements in their kidney markers, not because ginger fixes kidneys, but because it helps your body flush toxins more efficiently while reducing the damage happening at the cellular level. To get these benefits, you'll want 1 to 3 grams of ginger daily. And you have plenty of ways to take it: thin slices of fresh ginger steeped into a warm tea, ginger powder added to cooking or blended into a smoothie, capsules if you prefer exact dosing. Just one gentle reminder before you start: if you're on blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, talk to your doctor first. Ginger can increase the effects of these medications and raise bleeding risk. Your kidneys work so hard for you. Ginger is one way to give some of that love back. Now, this is where things get serious. Because the next 3 spices I'm about to share aren't helping your kidneys at all, they're quietly hurting them. And most people have absolutely no idea. The first one might shock you, because it's sitting on nearly every kitchen table in America. You shake it on your eggs, twist it over your pasta, add it without even thinking, and all the while, you never imagine what it might be doing to your kidneys when creatinine is already high. I'm talking about black pepper. For anyone dealing with elevated creatinine, black pepper can become a real problem, and here's why. Large studies following chronic kidney disease patients across multiple U.S. research centers found something worrying about piperine, the compound that gives black pepper its flavor and heat. When you start using black pepper generously on everything you eat, that piperine adds extra workload onto kidneys that are already struggling. Here's what's really happening inside your body. Your kidneys don't just filter waste. They also help process and break down many of the medications and compounds traveling through your blood. Piperine interferes with some of the enzymes your kidneys rely on for drug metabolism. When those enzymes are disrupted, your kidneys have to work harder to clear things out, and that added strain can show up as rising creatinine. But it doesn't stop there. Piperine also triggers oxidative stress inside your kidney filters, meaning it creates unstable molecules that hit your kidney cell membranes and spark inflammation. And if your kidneys are already vulnerable, that extra oxidative hit can accelerate the decline you're fighting so hard to slow down. Now, don't panic. I'm not saying you need to throw your pepper shaker in the trash. A light sprinkle here and there isn't going to destroy your kidneys. The real trouble comes when people use black pepper heavily at every meal, or worse, when they take piperine supplements thinking they'll boost nutrient absorption. That's when kidney stress builds up fast. And if you're on medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or really anything at all, overdoing black pepper can also interfere with how well those drugs work. If this video is helping you finally understand what's been happening inside your kidneys, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps us reach someone else who's watching their creatinine climb and desperately needs this information today. Now, the next spice on this list is the one most people think is healthy, but for anyone with high creatinine, it can quietly spark inflammation that attacks your kidney cells while you sleep. And this one really surprises people, because so many health gurus keep calling it a metabolism booster or a fat-burning miracle. I'm talking about chili pepper. But the harm it causes doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in slowly. Research teams studying kidney patients in China and the West found something unsettling. When people with elevated creatinine keep piling on hot peppers and spicy sauces, things start to go wrong behind the scenes. The compound that creates that burning heat, capsaicin, isn't just setting your tongue on fire. Here's what it's doing inside your kidneys. Capsaicin triggers inflammation deep within your kidney tissues by creating oxidative stress that slams straight into your filtering cells. Think of it like pouring gasoline on a fire your kidneys are already struggling to control. They're working overtime to manage waste in your bloodstream, and then capsaicin turns up the inflammatory pressure even more. The research showed that people with chronic kidney issues who kept eating spicy foods regularly saw their creatinine rise faster than those who eased up on the heat. The tricky part is that chili peppers don't affect everyone exactly the same way. Some people can handle a little spice without too much trouble. But if your creatinine is already climbing and you're still drowning your meals in hot sauce, you're essentially gambling with how quickly your kidney function declines. And that repeated inflammatory hit? Over time, it wears down your filtering capacity even further. Here's the honest truth that nobody wants to hear: you don't have to cut spice out of your life forever. Tiny amounts once in a while are usually fine. But if your creatinine has been creeping up month after month and you're still going heavy on the jalapenos, sriracha, or chili flakes, you're making things worse without realizing it. Start paying attention to how your body reacts after a spicy meal. Everyone's tolerance shifts when the kidneys are already compromised. And the final spice on this list? It's sitting in almost every American kitchen, getting sprinkled into coffee and baked goods like it's completely harmless, but what it does to weaken kidneys is honestly frightening. That little spice jar sitting quietly in your cabinet, the one right next to the cinnamon, is where things get genuinely dangerous for anyone watching their creatinine climb. Most people grab it during the holidays for pumpkin pie, or sprinkle it into a morning latte without a second thought. It smells warm and comforting, but hidden inside is a compound that can be surprisingly toxic to struggling kidneys. The spice I'm talking about is nutmeg. And the compound responsible for the damage is myristicin. Clinical toxicology reports from poison control centers and hospitals across the country have documented what happens when people use too much nutmeg over time. Myristicin isn't like the gentle compounds in most other spices. It doesn't just pass through your body quietly. It directly attacks kidney cells and triggers inflammation that pushes creatinine higher. Here's what makes nutmeg so sneaky: you don't need huge amounts for it to start causing problems if your kidneys are already vulnerable. A tiny pinch in holiday baking is fine, but using it regularly, even just a bit too often, slowly builds up cellular damage inside your filtering units. And you won't feel that damage happening until it's already taken a toll. Myristicin harms your kidneys by creating unstable oxidative molecules that hit your filtering cells hard. Those hits create inflammation, scar tissue, and more strain on kidneys that are already trying desperately to keep up. When your creatinine is elevated, the last thing your kidneys need is another toxic burden. What really surprises people is how often nutmeg sneaks into foods they eat all the time. Chai lattes, pumpkin spice drinks, eggnog, certain curries, baked goods, and even pre-mixed spice blends. If you're using nutmeg several times a week or buying it in larger amounts for regular cooking, you're stepping into risky territory when your kidneys are already compromised. Here's the bottom line, the part one want you to hold on to: a light sprinkle once in a while isn't going to crash your kidney function overnight. But if your creatinine keeps creeping up and nutmeg is something you use regularly without thinking, it's time to stop. You don't deserve any extra harm, especially not from something as innocent looking as a spice jar. Now that you know which spices are quietly protecting your kidneys and which ones might be hurting them, let's talk about how to actually put this into practice starting tomorrow morning. The easiest way to begin is with a gentle, soothing turmeric golden milk. It takes less than 3 minutes, and it doesn't taste like you're sipping mud, I promise. Here's the simple recipe. Warm 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk or regular milk on the stove. Stir in half a teaspoon of turmeric and just a pinch of black pepper to help your body absorb it. Then add 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon for an extra layer of kidney support. If you like a little sweetness, add a drizzle of raw honey. That 1 mug gives you 2 powerful protective spices before your day even begins. Around midday, give your kidneys another kind gesture. Slice a piece of fresh ginger root about the size of your thumb and steep it in hot water for about 10 minutes. It turns into a warm, calming tea that helps flush your kidneys while they're doing their hardest work of the day. And yes, the timing truly matters. Spreading these spices throughout your day keeps gentle, steady protection flowing instead of overwhelming your system all at once. Now, if you're someone who just can't stand the taste of turmeric or ginger, no matter how lovingly you prepare them, that's okay. Choose a high-quality supplement that clearly lists curcumin content and ginger extract. Take them with food so your stomach stays happy. And of course, if you're on blood thinners or other medications, double-check with your doctor first. Your safety matters. Here's what I really want you to hear: you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to use all 3 beneficial spices every single day for your labs to start shifting in the right direction. Even adding just 1 protective spice in the morning, while cutting back on the excessive black pepper or skipping the hot sauce, can make a real, measurable difference over time. Because when it comes to protecting your kidneys, consistency always beats perfection. These tiny daily habits either lift your kidneys up, or slowly wear them down. They're working every minute of your life to keep you going. And these 6 spices? They're either offering the support your kidneys are begging for or adding stress they can't heal from. You get to choose which one you give them, starting tomorrow. Let's lock in what really matters as you walk away from this video. Turmeric blocks the inflammatory proteins that are wearing down your kidney filters and switches on your body's natural defenses against oxidative damage. Cinnamon keeps your blood sugar from spiking so sharply that it scars your kidney tissues meal after meal. Ginger improves circulation and helps your kidneys flush out the toxic waste that's building up faster than your body can handle on its own. Used consistently, these 3 spices create a protective shield around your kidneys. On the flip side, too much black pepper forces your kidneys to work overtime processing compounds they're already struggling with. Chili peppers and capsaicin spark inflammation that slams into kidney cells and accelerates the damage inside your filters. Nutmeg contains myristicin, which directly attacks kidney tissue and pushes creatinine higher when used regularly. Here's your 1 simple action step you can start tomorrow morning without overthinking it. Pick just 1 protective spice and add it to your breakfast. Turmeric in golden milk. Ceylon cinnamon on your oatmeal. Fresh ginger steeped in hot water. That single habit begins turning things around for your kidneys while you work on cutting back the harmful spices. I know it feels scary to watch your creatinine creep up month after month, like your body is slowly slipping out of your control. Every lab result that's worse than the last chips away at your hope. But here's the truth you need to hold on to: the power to help your kidneys isn't locked behind complicated procedures or expensive treatments. It's in your hands right now in simple, everyday choices with spices you can pick up at any grocery store, giving your kidneys real support starting today. Subscribe so you never miss another video that could help you reclaim your kidney health naturally. And if this video helped you see what's really happening inside your body, share it with someone you know who's struggling with high creatinine. They need this just as much as you do. Your kidneys deserve the backup. You deserve to feel better. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.